Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Om Vishnupad Purnamamsa Paripajapacharya Ashtottara Sri Srimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Raj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Ki Jai Nam Acharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Ivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Sham Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadip Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Jamana Mai Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Go Premanande.
Welcome everybody to Srimad Bhagavatam reading with His Holiness Jayādvaita Swami. It is Tuesday, February 10th, 2026. We are beginning with Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 25, Text 42.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Kasya Manaste Bhuvi Bhogi Bhogayoho Striyana Sajjat Pujayor Mahapuja Yo nata vargadhim alam gunodhata smitavalokena charatyapovitum. Almighty arms, who in this world will not be attracted by your arms, which are just like the bodies of serpents? Actually, you relieve the distress of husbandless women like us by your attractive smile and your aggressive mercy. We think that you are traveling on the surface of the earth just to benefit us only. Purport. When a husbandless woman is attacked by an aggressive man, she takes his action to be mercy. A woman is generally very much attracted by a man's long arms. The serpent's body is round, and it becomes narrower and thinner at the end. The beautiful arms of a man appear to a woman just like serpents, and she very much desires to be embraced by such arms. Purport. Continue. The word anatta varga is very significant in this verse. Anatta means husband, and a means without. A young woman who has no husband is called anatta, meaning one who is not protected. As soon as a woman attains the age of puberty, she immediately becomes very much agitated by sexual desire. It is therefore the duty of the father to get his daughter married before she attains puberty. Otherwise, she will be very much mortified by not having a husband. Anyone who satisfies her desire for sex at that age becomes a great object of satisfaction. It is a psychological fact that when a woman at the age of puberty meets a man, and the man satisfies her sexually, she will love that man for the rest of her life, regardless who he is. Thus, so-called love within this material world is nothing but sexual satisfaction. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnanjana Salakaya Chakshurmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Shakadam Pitam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jatapadakam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Shadhajatam Sahagana Radhanatam Vitam Stansajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Varijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lolita Sri Vishakhan Vitanscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Dhattate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostika Sapta Kamshana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Site Devi Pranamami Puripriya Vanchako Patarupyascha Kripa Sindho Pyevacha Patita Nam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jayādvaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Here, Kasya Manaste Bhuvi Bhogi Bhogayo, Priyana Sadgate Bhuviyor Mahabhuva, Yonata Vargadhim, Alam Granodhika, Mutavalokena Charachakovitam. Oh, the mind of the woman is attracted to King Puranjana. Here, because of his powerful arms, which are compared to serpents. Woman dreams of being embraced by those strong arms. Kasyamanas te bhuvi bhogi bhogi yo striyana sajte kupiyo yo nata vargadhyan alone. Anatta means having no lord, having no husband, having no protector. Anatta varga. In such a condition, without having a husband, a woman feels mental distress. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada mentions, that it's the duty of the father to get the daughter married before she attains puberty. By that time, sexual desire becomes very strong, and if there's no husband, then the woman becomes, what's the word? Victimized by some opportunistic man. At the age of 13, 14, the father is still thinking, my little girl, but
Yeah.
You want to mute? Okay, thank you. The father is still thinking, my little girl, but biology is moving things on, and biologically she's already a woman. And biology is also dictating. You want to mate, you want to mate, you want to mate. So it's the duty of the father to provide, arrange for a suitable husband for the daughter. That's a duty. He can avoid getting his son married, but he can't avoid the duty of seeing to the marriage of his daughter. That's the Vedic instruction. These are the instructions of Vedic culture for the father. But therefore, entering into householder life brings with it great difficult burdens. One has to provide for the wife, for the home, so on, and children, and chances are more than half that a child will be a daughter. And for the daughter, the great duty is there for the father to provide a husband. As long as yes. Now, we just let it go, and she grows up, and sooner or later she finds a husband. That means by mixing with boys, she gets to like someone, or the boy takes an aggressive role, and she gets captivated. And the boy is just thinking to enjoy, to score, but she's thinking of the relationship and this and that. Then she's victimized, and she has to market herself to find to obtain a husband, which is embarrassing and degrading. So it's the duty of the father. And it's considered a great pious credit to the father when he gives a kanya, unspoiled girl, to a suitable boy. And then his duty is successfully completed. Otherwise, just leaving it for Providence to see to is irresponsible. And what's the word? Yeah, irresponsible. Here, the Grana Udhata, the aggressive mercy of the man, is attractive. Continuing the theme from the previous verse, a girl is attracted to a man who's manly. And manly means taking the part of the aggressor, what shall we say? Taking the part of the person who's taking the initiative. So such a man is attractive. And Prabhupada mentions that when the girl has sex with such a man, then she remembers him for the rest of her life. That's also another psychologically unfortunate feature of the well, let's just see what happens approach to marriage. The girl has sex with whoever, and then forever after, everyone else is compared to him or to the others in terms of sexual performance. And when she gets a husband, then he's also another one of many. But in the Vedic system, the boy and girl are matched, and then there's that attachment is fixed in the right circumstance within marriage, and then there can be good children and so on. Otherwise, what is that in the Bhagavad Gita? Adharma bhivavat Krishna pradushanti kulastriyaha. Where these principles are not observed, then the women become polluted, and strishu dushtashu varshneya jayate varna sankara, and then degraded offspring come. And Narakasyaiva, what is that? Sankaro Narakasyaiva. And then everything is life becomes hellish. So in the Vedic culture, having worthy children is considered very important, and therefore these arrangements were seen to with great attention. Hare Krishna.
We have something in the chat. Saraswati Masaji writes, Pranams Param Puja Gurudev and all the Vaishnavas. A common argument is teen are not emotionally mature enough for marriage, though physically she may be. So this means she is not ready to handle duties of wife efficiently?
The girl's physically mature, but not emotionally, and so she can't really, she's not ready. Well, the first thing is, this is contradicted by the centuries and centuries of Vedic culture, where the boy and girl were matched at a young age, and everything worked out very well, arguably far better than marriages today, or even in India and places like Bombay, the divorce rate runs at something like 50%. So that's point one. Point two, she's not ready. So how will she become ready? She'll become ready by experience. And what is that experience? One boy, another boy, another boy, another boy. This one takes advantage of her, that one takes advantage of her. Now she's ready because she's mature. What nonsense is this? Prabhupada, we have a god sister, Kanchan Baladevi Dasi, and as a high school girl, there was some interest on the part of one of my godbrothers, Madhusudan Das, in marrying her. And Prabhupada approved, but the mother objected. She's too young. First, she should get to know different boys, and then she can make a decision. The Prabhupada said, just see. That means the mother wants the daughter to become a prostitute. She should shop herself around, get sufficient experience, and then decide. So that's the training, that's the way one gets maturity. And therefore, women are so often in the present age, what's the word? Emotionally a mess. Not that men aren't also, but women are emotionally messed up. They've been, what's the word? Bedded down and bedded down and bedded down. And that too with the need for contraceptives and sometimes abortion also. So then when she gets married, it's very nice. This is all the workings of a rubbish civilization, a cruel civilization, an irresponsible civilization. And she's not yet emotionally mature enough, but when she's 20, 30, again, she's not emotionally mature enough. She's a mess. And therefore she gets married and divorced and so on. And the opportune time has passed. The woman is at the height of her beauty and attractiveness in her teens. And when she has to, at 30, it's harder. The sheen wears off and the attractiveness for a young man diminishes. Again, we're working in what's the word? In opposition to biology. Biology is dictating one way, and the Shastras and Vedic culture are in tune with that. But no, we have a better idea. That will not work. Shastra vidimutsrijya vartate kamakarta nasasiddhim avapnoti sukham naparam gatem. This will not lead to happiness, to say nothing of spiritual advancement. Hare Krishna.
Prakula Masri.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Maharaj, Hare Krishna, devotees. Yeah, yesterday I got cut off while speaking. My data finished on the phone. My question, Maharaj, is, and so how affected must we be when it is said in this time, in this age, in this time, that, you know, 13, 14-year-old girls and until 18, when they have sex, they have been abused, they've been sexually molested or abused. I mean, whether they've agreed or not, but the fact that they've had sex or, with any boy or man, and then it is said, it's a police case, the girl is abused, sexually molested, when we in fact know that, when we now know this knowledge, what the Vedic knowledge says about, puberty and girls, how affected must we be when we hear this abuse, molestation, police cases?
The two things are there. The girl is interested in romance or relationship with a man, sex, but just the fact that she's interested doesn't confer upon the man a right to have her. Doesn't confer upon the man a right to have her. Actually, she's supposed to be under protection. Whose protection? Protection of the father. Who is he protecting her from? Among others, opportunistic men. The boy doesn't want to take care of her. He doesn't really love her. He's not committed to her welfare. He just wants to have some fun. And so he says a few sweet words and he behaves aggressively and this and that and uses her. He just uses her. So it's the father's duty to see that the daughter is protected so that opportunistic men won't see her as an object for their use. Modern women also, we hear that, no, we don't want to be sex objects. So it's the duty of the father to see that the daughter is not used by a man who's just looking for a sex object. If you want my daughter, you have to take responsibility for her whole life. Not that you just play around with her like a toy and then toss her for another one. That's, you can't do that with my daughter. That's the duty of the father. No. So the boy doesn't have a God-given right that because the girl is looking for a man or eligible or biologically mature, therefore I'm entitled to use her for a plaything. No. And therefore the father, or in the absence of the father, even the law says, no, you can't do this. And particularly the law says until she reaches at least a certain age, even if she gives you consent, we don't accept it. She's not qualified to give independent consent at that age. So even if she loved you or was attracted to you or said yes or whatever, no, we don't accept that. You raped her. That's the law. And rightly so. Rightly so. Men are not entitled to just use any girl that attracts them. So, yes.
So, Maharaj, so should we be pro, what do they call them? Like girls getting married at 13, they call that child marriage.
Yes, that's child marriage is different. In modern society, child marriage is like appalling. But child sex is usual. If my daughter is 14, 15, 16, going out with different boys, so many things, That's nice. She's popular. She's popular. That means prostitute, that any boy can use her. I remember I was at one school. It was a small school, only a few hundred students. It was a college in New Hampshire, if I remember. And one of the girls there particularly had a reputation that there wasn't a single boy in the school that hadn't had sex with her. There wasn't a single boy in the school that hadn't had sex with her. And then visiting boys also. So that's the nature of things. The girl is not expected to be, what's the word? Anyway, we won't follow that line. But it's the duty of the father to see that the girl she has a desire, she wants a man, but where will that go? Unless she's provided a husband, I want a man. Okay, the man comes and says, you want me. She says, well, yeah, to tell you the truth, yes, 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 yes. Then another man comes, actually, you want me. Did she? Yes. Not everyone's a yes, but out of 50, maybe 10 or 5 or however many, they want to hit on her and enjoy. And yes, because she's, what's that word? Distressed by desire. So if the father doesn't get the girl married, then that's where it goes. Otherwise, he takes the responsibility and gets the daughter married at a young age. Why is that worse than having her shop around or be shopped around? Why is that worse? And in the Vedic culture, it was very good. But now you get, for example, what is it? Council for Foreign Relations in Manhattan, a very powerful organization, and other organizations that hire college professors to write books and booklets condemning the evils of child marriage. Child marriage is so terrible. Partly it's terrible, one suspects, because it results in increasing the population, and a certain section of powerful people think that they have to control the population, keep the numbers down. It's their duty to do that. So they're against child marriage because it results in children. They'd rather have a society of bastards and abortions than to have young girls married and giving birth to legitimate children. But according to the Vedic culture, this is civilized. Is that okay?
Yes, thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Very well.
Shams, you, Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. There's a very unique problem that's outlined in this text with women having their first sexual experience, falling in love for a lifetime, and say someone decides to become a devotee. Now it's a two-way problem. This Mataji can run into an old lover and immediately their spiritual life is in extreme danger, and vice versa. A Prabhu can come to Krishna consciousness, and a Mataji who was never able to move past that high school, middle school thing is now gunning for him. And with us all online, you use email, Facebook, whatever. How do you see devotees protecting themselves against these old mistakes coming back at them as they come into devotion?
Women may bring with them their history of sexual experimentation, sexual experience. Men also, and then the women turn their brights on the men, and so on. So what do we do about that? That's the question.
Yes, as well as even if, say, it's not the devotees in the temple, but someone from the past reaching out, email, Facebook.
Someone reaches out through email, Facebook. Well, recommendation one, stay off Facebook. Social media is not all that conducive to devotional life. Arguably, it's a huge time suck and full of all sorts of problems. The one you mentioned, and that Vaishnav Ninda, and so many things. So I don't see how social media enhances devotional life. So one good thought is stay off social media, and then you don't have these problems. A second thought is that coming to Krishna consciousness and seriously means cutting ourselves off from these past things. Yes, we had illicit sex. Yes, we used to take intoxicants. Yes, we used to gamble. Yes, we used to eat meat. Yes, we used to do this. Yes, we used to do that. But when one takes to Krishna consciousness, then one exercises intelligent choice and determination. I'm not going to do that anymore. It messed me up. It dragged me down. I'm done. So my old boyfriend, my old girlfriend reaches out to me, and wherever the button is, blocked. Not even replied to, just blocked. I'm done. Otherwise, well, they're reaching out to me, and we used to smoke together, or we used to drink together, or we used to have sex together. And the mind gets going, no, don't. Tasmat tvam indriyani ado niyamya. From the very beginning, one should control these things. Papmanam prajahi yenam jnana vijnana nasham, and slay this development of lust, which is the enemy of knowledge and self-realization. One should deal with it strongly and swiftly. No. Following the four regular principles means knowing how to say no. Absolutely no. Not maybe, possibly. No. No intoxicants, no gambling, no boyfriend, girlfriend, no meat eating, intoxication, illicit sex. Finished. Then, if you want to get married, that's all right. Of course, then we get into whole sociological discussions because the pool of eligible partners is not unlimited, and this and that and the other thing. But that's not for me to sort out. Is that okay? And the brahmacharis, if they don't want to be targets for husbandless women who are in need, then they should be very strict. Prabhupada wrote a letter to Sankarshan Prabhu, my godbrother. Prabhupada asked him, he asked Prabhupada what should be the behavior of a brahmachari in relation to the brahmacharinis. Prabhupada said, you can look it up, I'm paraphrasing. He should have nothing to do with them, strictly. Avoid talking with them. He said he shouldn't even see the face. He said, of course, in your country, it's a little difficult, but these are the principles. Shouldn't even see the face, and strictly should never be alone in the same room, Prabhupada said, with a woman. So those who want to be actually brahmacharis should be very strict in avoiding the association of women, even devotee women. That doesn't mean impolite, mean, contemptuous, but this is not my business to be friends with the devotee women. They have their world, we have our world. Is that okay?
Yes, thank you very much, Maharaj. I've certainly found that being strict with even leaving doors open to communication in not doing that leads to really unnecessary close calls. So I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
We have a few things in the chat. Praveen Prabhu, argument. Now, where divorce is prevalent, my daughter needs to have her own income. So she needs to complete her education till her 30s, so that even if the boy leaves her, she can still be independent and live at her own income.
Yeah, that's the sort of standard argument one hears these days. First of all, this contributes to the phenomenon. Well, my wife anyway, she has her own career, her own independent income. If I ditch her, it won't be so bad for her. She'll have her own money. What's the problem? In the Vedic culture, the girl is completely dependent on the husband, and the husband therefore felt fully responsible. This girl is dependent on me. She's dependent on me. How can I send her away? But if you follow this line of logic, this girl is independent, but I'm independent, she's independent, but we've gotten together for mutual interest. And if the interest wanes, she still has her career, she still has her money, she still has everything. So not such a big deal. So you're contributing to the problem with this line of logic. That's the first thing. Second thing is, in her 30s, if the boy leaves her, then she's in difficulty. Therefore, it's your duty as the father to see that when she's married, she has a sufficient endowment. The dowry system was not meant as a bribe to the boy that this girl comes with a big endowment. It was meant as a fund for the girl, so that in times of difficulty, she would have means to take care of her needs. The daughter would not inherit, the son would inherit, but the father would provide generously so that the girl would be taken care of. Apart from that, it was yes, she needs her own income so that in case the boy leaves her, and of course the boy is more likely to leave her because after all, she's been playing the field for 10 years or 15 years. So her mind is not fixed. And he's been playing around with such girls for a similar time. His mind is not fixed. And she needs to complete her education. And what is that education? Go to college and have sex with the boys. Prabhupada said the fault of co-education is that or fault of the colleges are that the boys and girls are allowed to mix together and have sex. So you send her for her so-called education, And what kind of education does she get? She gets that kind of education also. As Prabhupada said, learns how to become a prostitute. And you're doing this for her happiness and security. So that's the next point. And then in her career also, the same thing, that the men and women mix in the workplace, and so many things happen. This is not Hare Krishna cult knowledge. Everybody knows this. So you're making a program, a contingency program, but what is the price of that contingency program? So the Vedic culture was be very serious as a father, do your homework, get started early, don't wait till she's 28 and she's finished. You're thinking of her marriage. You're not going to have anything much to say about it once she's finished her career, finished her education and embarked on her career. At that age, she's unlikely to listen to you. Nor do you have a role. Marriage means you mix with this boy, mix with that boy, and when you figure that you've got a good match, then move in with one another. And if it lasts for a decent while, then you can get married. That's what you're promoting in the name of seeing that she's independent and secure. You make everything a mess. And you think that she'll be happy. So the Vedic culture was that the father has to be ultra dutiful. He has to see from a young age that he's at work finding a very qualified boy for her, from a responsible family, good quality person, matched up, astrologically compatible so many ways, good. That was his view. And then the marriage would be performed with a great investment by the father and by the mother in the stability of that match. It's not just a boy and girl are getting married, but the families are being joined by this sacrament with the expectation that there'll be good children and that the family heritage will be carried forward. So there's this tremendous investment on behalf of both families, and therefore the boy and the girl couldn't just easily say, well, anyway, we weren't compatible, it wasn't working out, we had issues, this, that. No, this is it. One of my friends in Bombay, when he was married, the family brought her to his house. Then I think the mother or the father, maybe the mother of the girls, said to her that now we're bringing you to this house, and this is where you'll stay until they carry you out on a stretcher. That's what it is. Not that we hope it works out and you met this nice boy and we hope he's good for you and we support you and we're all in favor of whatever you want, and if it doesn't work out, they'll help you through it. There was such an arrangement that it was so fixed up that no dutiful boy could think about leaving his wife. No decent girl could think about leaving her husband. And they're, sexually speaking, the first boy would be her husband. Not that he'd be the second or the fifth or the 123rd. So from that point of view also, as Prabhupada said, the attraction is there with the first point. That's her husband, not just one of many. So that also contributes to the stability of the marriage. And that's what you're against. You want education and sexual openness. You don't talk about it, but that's what it is. And this for her security. Yes, there may be cases where the marriage really isn't very good. But then the culture is such that, all right, I'm not very happy with it, but I live with it. Because if I start, try this, try that, try this, try that, there's no guarantee that that will be any better. And statistically, in fact, it's worse. It turns out worse. So, Tasmat Shastra, therefore one should follow the Vedic idea. And we will see more and more over time that this newer idea that what she really needs is an education and a career and an independent income is will not make anyone happier. And yes, there could be disasters. Kamsa's daughters were widowed at an early age. The husband took responsibility. The father took responsibility. The community, if the father's not there, the elder brother, the uncle. It was a life of responsibility. And especially responsibility for the daughter. Therefore, in the Shastras, they're defenseless creatures whom it's one's duty to protect. Children, women, cows, Brahmins, and old people. That's the duty of the civilized people, to see that these defenseless creatures are protected. Not that we target the women. That's a barbaric civilization. These particular groups of living entities deserve special protection. Children deserve vigorous protection. Women deserve vigorous protection. Cows, vigorous protection. Brahmin, protection. And especially the householder community, this is their duty. It was a responsible civilization, not what arrangement can we make so that we can have maximum flexibility in case of this, in case of that. Maybe.
Natalia Mastery writes, in ancient time, Swayamvara has been practicing.
Swayamvara means the girl would choose her husband, but that was, first of all, for exceptional girls, princesses in particular, they were given that right. And that too with conditions. We see the conditions. Yes, Draupadi can choose whoever she wants, but he has to be able to pierce the fish target. My daughter can marry whoever she wants, as long as he can rope these bulls and tame them. So it wasn't just, yeah, whoever you like, just choose a boy that suits your fancy, you know, to be eligible to be among the candidates in that Swayamvara, you already had to be quite someone. And that wasn't for everyone. That was for highly qualified royalty.
Should we take this last comment before Kirtan?
Yes.
Saraswati Mashi writes, I was asking a mother of a young girl if she is worried about her girl's scanty attire, and reply was that this is fashion. Next sentence, she was furious about the lewd attentions from boys directed at her girl. I called her out on this contradiction, and she said that only selective attention from select boys is desired. This is the level of madness we encounter. I wanted to also mention that there are many unmarried virgin girls of all ages too.
That last problem is diminishing. Society is solving that problem. There are many men willing to couple up with such girls, at least as a one shot. This is the degraded state of the materialistic civilization. Kirtan?
Shamsundupuru, are you available?
Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Om Srimad Punamansa Padipaja Pacharya Ashto Sri Srimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Raj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jayādvaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kundi Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Ki Jai. Ganga Maya Ki Jai. Jamna Maya Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande.
His Holiness Jayādvaita Swami Ki Jai.
To the Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.